Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Viewers, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting that just concluded in Tianjin of China. The meeting happened at a very critical time of our history, as right now the world is facing three critical challenges. First, the economic contraction and the meltdown. Second, wider instability and the conflict, especially in the global south. Third, the moral crisis. If you look at the Palestine, what is happening? That is a genocide, but morally bankrupt politicians from many countries, they are not recognizing it. On top of that, the world is also facing the challenge of climate change, which has threatened very existence of the planet and the humanity. On the other hand, we can see there is a tough competition is going on among the three superpowers. One, a declining superpower US, which is trying to maintain its position. Second, a rising superpower, the China, which is advocating for a more just, fair, and inclusive global governance. Third, that is very interesting case, Russia. Russia is a resurging superpower, but Russia is doing it silently. So nobody notices it at this point of the time. But I believe when the President Putin says multipolar world, he identifies himself the leader of one pole among other poles. And if, on the other hand, when we see there is also some countries which are portraying themselves as alternative to the superpowers or the great powers, not superpower to the great powers, out of proportion. For example, India. Simultaneously, there's a competition going on among in different regions and among different countries to become the regional leader. For example, in Middle East, Saudi Arabia, UAE, they're competing hard. The Saudi Arabia is also competing to portray itself the leader of the Muslim Ummah. But simultaneously in the Middle East, they also have Iran. Iran is also portraying itself one of the leader. On the other hand, on the contrast, Israel is portraying itself a brutal leader of the region. In this context, the SCO meeting was very important because on the one hand, there are declining power. It's showing the hegemonic aspirations and trying to do everything to stick to its position. It is not ready to recognize the emerging realities. That's why it has initiated all sorts of the problems, including the trade war, which has destabilized the world economy and the trading system. In this context, when the global leadership sit together in Tianjin, they strongly advocated war, a multipolar world. They were of opinion that the hegemonic aspirations are still very much alive. The big countries are still exploiting the small and the weak countries and extracting the benefit at the cost of the people and the common dream of the global south or the weaker countries. That is unacceptable. Unfortunately, global system which has been created to prevent or to check such behavior has been failed to check the behavior of the powerful countries of the world. In this context, the countries from the global south, they were talking about how they can create a more just and a fair system instead of the system what is going on and helping some countries to exploit the other countries. Against that backdrop, the President Xi Jinping's speech was very important. He categorically mentioned that there is a need to enhance the cooperation among the SCO countries and the global south, and he denounced that there is no need for the world Cold War mentality, and he also did not like the idea of hegemony and unfair behavior of certain countries. He proposed that the world should move towards win-win cooperation. Apart from this speech and talking about the different aspect, he also launched some concrete programs to enhance the voices of the global south and especially the SCO at the global level. First, he announced that China will give 2 billion yuan for the development work under the SCO. Then he also promised that China will funnel 10 billion yuan for the different types of the project as a loan through the Inter-SCO Bank Consortium. Then he announced that China will also be giving scholarship to the talented students, especially in the field of technology, science and technology, to build a strong base of the innovation. China will also build the capacity of 10,000 people through the Luban workshops. Apart from that, China also showed a strong commitment that China and other countries under the SCO must join hand to counter the security threats. That's why the regional center must be established as soon as possible. China also talked about to establish SCO Development Bank. President Xi Jinping was of opinion if we establish SCO Development Bank, it will help the developing and the member countries of SCO to meet their security and economic needs. So, apart from that, President Xi Jinping also announced a very groundbreaking idea. He presented the Global Governance Initiative. That is a very unique because many people across the world are saying. So President Xi Jinping is proposing a new global governance order because the existing global governance order has been failed to deliver to the people and has failed to create a just and the fair system in the world. That's why they are saying. So President Xi Jinping has just launched a new world order in terms of the global governance. And personally, when I look at that, it's a very important initiative because if we have to understand the China America rise and China, we need to understand China's political culture and the governance culture because the governance and the political culture define what China is today from a French country to a major country of the world. Right? We can say it's a superpower of the world. So we must understand Chinese governance system and try to learn from there. Because the Chinese governance and the political system, it revolves around fundamentally three or four elements. Number one, it's a people-centric. It's talk about everything revolves around the people. Any policy or the action must be for the people to enhance the welfare of the people. Second, the interaction between the people and the state must be the continuous. It should not be like that during the election days you promise you meet people, but after winning the election you disappear. And you say that after 4 years, 5 years, we'll meet again. China said no in the governance system. So there should be the continuous interaction. Third, so everyone says that we are accountable. All the actors of the governance system, from president, general secretary, prime minister to the ordinary member of CPC and the government, they claim that they are accountable. They don't raise the slogans of like that is a political victimization or something like that. They say if we have the responsibility, then we are accountable and we are ready for any type of the accountability. And the fourth most important element is that Chinese governance and political system says that everyone have to submit to the rule of law. Everything will be under the rule of law. Everyone will have to act under the rule of law. The country must be united under the rule of law. The society must be united and driven by the rule of law. So rule of law is key for them. And the fifth element of this system is socialist values, where it promotes that when you are an actor in the governance system or the political culture system, you must act selflessly. You show the highest integrity, show the respect to the diversity, be friendly, work for the people. Up and there, the 12 different types of the values, I just mentioned a few ones. So these five elements are very important for any type of the governance system, either at the country level, at the global level. I think if China can bring these elements to the global level through global governance initiative, it will be a great help to the world. Now coming back to the SCO, the other leaders. So what was else discussed as SCO? President Putin has almost echo the same as what the President Xi Jinping was saying. President Putin strongly advocated for a multipolar world, so where everyone should be treated fairly and on the basis of the justice. There should be no bullying, and every country must have the right to develop. President Putin also highlighted that SCO has become a strong organization, and its influence the decision making at the global level. The President Putin also talked about to creating the alternatives for the payments, settling the trade payments under the local currencies. President Putin also talked about to build the quality connectivity infrastructure in terms of the transportation and the digital infrastructure, that it should be focused and there should be the connectivity, pro-connectivity policy frameworks in all countries. Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif was of the view that Pakistan is a strong supporter and advocate of multilateralism. Pakistan believes that every issue can be solved through the dialogue, development, and the diplomacy. So there is no need of the confrontation. But he also highlighted that we strongly denounce the unilateralism. Pakistan don't subscribe for the unilateralism. Pakistan subscribes for the multilateralism. The other political leadership of the countries or member countries, they also echoed almost the same message, the same spirit. They were asking for the more prominent role and the just global order and the just system and the fairness at the global system, and there should be no bullying. Importantly, this is important to understand. This is not the only time the global leadership talk about setting up a new governance order. The global South leadership is asking for the new governance model or reforming the existing governance model to make it more fair and just. Unfortunately, different countries and the hegemonic powers, they are not listening to that. The same message the global South leadership gave at the BRICS meeting. A few months back, the global South leadership gathered in Brazil under the BRICS platform. At that platform, the global South leadership gave the same message. So that there should be reform in the global governance system. And there is also news that President Lula of Brazil, he is trying to convene another meeting about to discuss the global governance of BRICS. I think that is a very important area for the global South, because global South is bearing the brunt of injustice and unfairness at the global level. So everybody is talking about the fairness and the global order which take care of interest of everybody. But I strongly believe, and these are not only two organizations which are discussing. If we look at the other small or the big or the regional or the southern level organization, they are talking the same. They are talking about there should be the fairness, there should be the justice, there should be equal chance for the development, and they are asking the global governance system, global architects of the global governance system to make it more fair. But unfortunately, they are not heard. Here, I think the global south must change its tactics. I believe rather than creating so many organizations here and there, they should consolidate their efforts to establish one organization from the global south with a very strong voice. Although they have already the G77 plus China group, but not like that group. Global south need a very strong organization, one organization, and it can be created. Why I'm saying it can be created? You look at the BRICS. How many countries want to become the member of the BRICS? You look at the SCO. How many countries want to become the member of SCO? There are many countries. These organizations already have been doubled, or their number has been increased more. So that's means global southern countries want to join hands with other global southern countries to make their voice strong. And in this context, I believe global southern countries are leadership to try to create one single big organization. Right now, they have the BRICS. Under the BRICS, they have the development bank, new development bank. They also have other mechanisms to support the trade linkages, people exchanges, a cooperation in the technology field, in energy field, people to people exchanges, and many other things. The same is true for the SCO. So SCO again, the China is proposing and other countries are subscribing to this idea of creating a SCO development bank. China has launched many initiatives I discussed in the opening, and the other countries they are along China, Russia, Pakistan, India, and other countries, Central Asian states. They are all talking about to increase cooperation in their diverse fields, including the energy, economy, climate change, technology, so many other things. So there are two conclusions from these organizations. Number one, everyone want to join. Look at the southern countries race to join these organizations. Second, these organizations are becoming a comprehensive organizations because they are working in the diverse areas. In this context, if these two organizations, along with the small organizations, the regional parties, they decide to launch a global organization, like the Global South Cooperation Organization, they can talk about. Why not merge all these efforts to build a Global South Cooperation Organization? Or we can also talk about a global organization for humanity, a global organization for the cooperation building for the humanity, and a global cooperation organization for building a community with a shared future, anything. So, but the global south countries must look for a new initiative that bring all initiative under that umbrella. You can say the regional initiatives. In one region, they have their own organization setup. Other region, they have their own setup. But the one big umbrella organization under which they are all the leader of the global south sit together and decide what should be done. Then those decisions should be implemented by other organizations or the members of those organizations. And in this way, I believe, in this way, it will save the time and bring and save the energies and help the global south leadership to focus to bring the ideas which will be accepted by the global north. Because when you have a huge number of countries on your back, you are a huge organization, a huge market, then everybody will listen to you. One thing, and second thing, it also saves the money and the resources, because you don't have to waste the money or the resources on a different secretariats or their mechanisms or other things. You will have one organization under which you will perform, and you have one secretariat where everything is being done. So, and in this way, the global southern countries will be in a better position to negotiate with the global north, and they will be in a better position to take care of their future. They will be in a better future, a position to create a new global governance order or reform the existing governance order to make it more pro people, a fair system, a just system, a system which promote the equality, which will promote the respect for the diversity and the sovereignty of the countries, and it prevent any countries to violate the sovereignty of any other country or the bullying of any other country. I think in this context, I believe there is a need, but rather I strongly propose the global southern countries should come up with a new organization with the name of Global South Cooperation Organization. Thank you. You continue to watch us on our daily Mumtaz page. If you have any question at the session, please email us. Thank you.